gloves on, tweezer, forceps, clamping, look, locks. Now we're set, ready to go for this very special succulent cleanup number 8. Mambo, Mambo Jumbo, that's what we're going to be talking about. But first, I just saw something with our victim here. This is called Echeveria Madiba. And the Madiba has got some fungus in the center there because it's been inside here for a few days. And the poor thing says, let me out of here. So I'm going to use my methylated spray first off so we don't infect the other plants. And say, there you go. And that's it. Now, we are ready to begin. In this episode of Succulent Cleanup, we are going to be talking about reincarnation, soulmates, and dreams. Hello there, my name is Liz, a self-confessed succulent addict. Welcome to my channel, Growing Succulents. But before I do that, my little drink of WALnLIZ cleanup. So I'm having my midnight, almost midnight here in Canberra, Australia. And I'm going to be doing some cleanup because it's the dead of the night and quiet. So, nice. I am not a piss pot. It means I'm not a drunk. I only have a tiny bit of WALnLIZ cream up to here. The rest of that is soy milk. So this is my midnight cap. Okay, let us begin. Now, music please. Do you believe in reincarnation, soulmate, or dreams? Some Eastern religion believes that after death, the soul can return to a new body. The idea of the soul being able to come back, given a second chance, a do-over, to correct mistakes of the past, to live again. To remember where I hid the bag of gold nuggets I found 200 years ago. Wouldn't that be something? If reincarnation does happen, how many times can you actually do it? Can you do it over and over and over again? Isn't that nice? We continue. According to Buddhism, the times one can be reincarnated depends entirely on the action of your last human life. If you do good, you'll be reborn as human instantly. But if you've been naughty and not very nice, you'll be reborn as something else. Like, say for example, an animal or a bug. I think it's about 10,000 times or something like that. If I've been naughty in this life, say for example, well, I wish that my karma is to be a mayfly that only lives for 24 hours. This is a little bit nitty-gritty, so I have to use the tweezer. Okay, this is now finished. So we have to stop our story. I don't want to cut you off halfway or midway, but anyway, this is now done, all nice and clean with a couple of touches dry leaves down here. And also I have to tease the soil just to bring it back up and also give circulation for air for the roots of this Madiba to help it along. Okay. One down. Isn't that nice? Just keep doing that. Just keep massaging that. Okay, we have to stop now. As we continue our yakety yak, we are going to be cleaning up this big, beautiful peach pride, also known as Atlantis, because this Atlantis will take us into the continuation of our topic for today. So why am I talking about reincarnation? Because I have a special story for you. The story of WALnLIZ. I love story. I have always believed that my husband, Wal, and I are soulmates. But what really are soulmates? There are so many different interpretations and explanations regarding soulmates. According to some, soulmate is a feeling of kinship towards someone that you don't know. It's like a spark that gets ignited once you meet a stranger. Not stranger danger, as if you've known them all your life. Is there some truth to that? Or are these just folklore, a bedtime story for little kids? Well, I have a story about soulmates, or how it came to be. This is my version, okay? So, basically, when God created us, we are one entity. Let's give this entity a name. WALnLIZ. So, God sent WALnLIZ into the world to live a righteous life according to His will, to God's will. And somehow, WALnLIZ managed to defy God's rules, and therefore sin was created. And when WALnLIZ died, he or she, because we're not really sure whether it's male or female, so he or she was reborn again. And as a punishment, God split WALnLIZ into two and sent Wal into the world on the other side, and sent Liz into the world on the other side, on the other ends of the world, to make it difficult for them to find each other. So Wal and Liz, now separated, have to do right by God's will, or they will never find each other again. Isn't that a nice story? I just found this out lately. According to Jewish folklore, it is said that Adam had a wife called Lilith. They apparently only stayed together for a short while because she insisted upon being fully equal with her husband. So since they were made the same, so God made Lilith from a clay on his own. He's got a separate clay, and then made Adam on a separate clay. And so anyway, since they were made the same, and Adam wouldn't have any of it, and insisted that Lilith obeys him. So Lilith said, "Stuff you, I'm leaving." So she left. So poor Adam, heartbroken, became so lonely that God took pity on him and decided to take one of his ribs while he sleeps, basically put him under anesthetic, and make Eve from it. And so the rest, of course, you know the story as we know it. So Eve became Adam's true companion, basically, not his soulmate, just a companion that wouldn't leave him because she came from him and will stay by his side. By the way, the creation of woman from man was possible because Adam originally had two faces. So he's got two faces that God split. So put one for Eve and one for Adam. So when God separated, when Eve was actually born, or when he made Eve, so he thought, oh, she doesn't have a face, so let's go take your other face and put it on Eve. So if God created a modern Adam, say for example, without an Eve, technically Adam should have all his ribs intact, which most people do. Well, actually most men do. Men and women have generally the same equal amount of ribs, and probably for some special circumstance there's some missing ribs that's probably from Adam's line. So I think this is where the idea came from in some culture, that the wife has to be submissive to the husband, because without Adam there would be no Eve. And even though Lilith was Adam's soulmate, she didn't stay with him because she wanted independence, basically. She wanted to get a job, make her own money, buy her own house, and get a toy boy, and become a cougar. So let's get back to the story. No more laughing, guys, okay? This is serious now. So back to reincarnation and soulmate. Apparently, there are over 2,500 known cases worldwide, according to Google, that is, that suggests the possibility of reincarnation. There's a lot of recorded studies of people who have supposedly retained memories of their previous lives. people, places, events of someone else's life that usually a child, in a lot of cases, would actually remember, wherein there's no way possible for these kids to know all this information about this person's, say, past life that's already passed, basically. So I came across a case of a 4-year-old boy who told his parents that he was someone else. He had a different name to what he has now. He's got a family, he said, and told them details about his job and how he died. He recounts details of his past life that only that person past who would know. Fascinating, isn't it? So now, I for one, maybe should add myself to the list. So that's 2,501. No, I can't say that because I can't remember my past life, for one. And so therefore, probably I'm not reincarnated, or I just can't remember because I'm always too busy to remember anything in this life. What more, my past life. But what I probably had was a precognitive dream. Yes, I had a dream. Do you believe in dreams? Well, I do. Specifically, this dream, which relates to soulmates. Without any further ado, here it goes. For as long as I can remember, I've always had this longing that I can't explain. Even when I was only 4 years old, I was consumed by a certain sadness. I've always looked for things, or maybe someone, that I don't know. This is why, as a child, I was always happiest when I'm alone. Because when I was with people I know, I feel this sense of loss. It's like I'm searching for that face, but could not remember. I just kept saying to myself, when I grow up, I'm going to look for that something or someone. And grow up I did. When I was 16, I told myself that I'm going to be a nun. But my circumstance did not allow me to be one. So at 18, something happened that made me decide to not get married until I find that something or someone. One night in 1986, I was 22 years old. I had a dream. I dreamt that I was walking up a very steep mountain. I looked down on the ground. There was all these rocks, boulders. I stopped to turn some over, and to my surprise, I saw gold and gemstones everywhere. So understandably, I took my time walking up this mountain, plus it was a very steep mountain. When I got to the top, there were low-hanging clouds in front of my face. I could almost feel the humidity, the wetness of the air surrounding me. As I reached the summit, there was a man standing there. I can't quite see his face. All I can see is his nose, his mustache, his cute little chin, his neck, and a curly mullet haircut. He's got a very muscular shoulder, and he's wearing a bumblebee yellow jersey shirt and navy blue short shorts. When I approached him, he extended his arm and took my hand without saying a word. Then he took me to the other side of the mountain, and we slowly went down this rocky hill, turning over rocks and finding gold, gemstones, and jewelry. It was all finished in the end. And then I woke up. Upon waking up, I ran downstairs to tell my mother that I found him! I found him! And she asked me, who? So I said, I found my Prince Charming. That's how I referred to him. Whoever he is. And so, after that September morning, yes, it was September, with a definite face in mind, I began my quest. For the meantime, there was a song that's popular at that time, the song September Morn by Neil Diamond. It was my only companion in my quest. When times get tough, as they always have back then, I'd play that song in my head. Stay for just a while, stay and let me look at you. So I need him to stay. I said, don't go so I can take a look at you, so I don't forget his face. And I never did. Well, when I say face, it was the nose, the mustache, the lips, the chin, and the back of his neck. And of course, who can forget the mullet haircut? So on the next video, I will continue my story of how I met my Prince Charming. Sorry to do that, but anyway, I'm going to continue. But for now, since this is almost finished, just a little bit of tidying up a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I already taken or picked up most of the dry leaves. So we're going to continue my story on to the next one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be seeing you on the next time on the next video. Stay safe, take care, look after yourself, and keep smiling.